Hi, welcome to Variety Tech Today. Um, Today we're just going to talk about a bunch of the latest 3D news. First off, Apple's announcement, which spread beyond our 3D niche community. This was news pretty much everywhere of their latest device, Apple Vision, a VR-looking headset, but it's supposedly much higher end and has a cost to reflect that. But the interesting part here is that they're supposedly going to be releasing 3D video content on this headset. One reviewer did speak of seeing a sample of Avatar 2 in 3D, and they announced a series to be filmed in 3D that's set in the monster universe of Godzilla, etc. Now, not a lot of information about this has come. Not a lot of people's experiences actually viewing 3D content on it, and no real technical details on this series that's coming. So, you know how often the word 3D is misused? Uh, is it stereoscopic? Is it involve 360 as well? Is it the entire thing? We honestly won't know until not only it happens, but someone who knows what they're talking about has a chance to witness it and articulate it. It's possible that the specs may exceed um, Blu-ray 3D. In other words, possibly allowing for Ultra HD, HDR, high frame rate 3D content. The vertical resolution is listed as 3000 pixels, but how much of that is for peripheral vision? Is there distortion involved? And how that would relate to the movies being shown on them. So it's not so simple. An interesting update on uh, the streaming front on Vudu. As we know, Vudu offers some 3D movies for rent and sale. Very inconsistent and sparse. It's like uh, they'll go some years without releasing any. In recent years, they have started releasing again, but it's not consistent. You don't know what they will and won't release. And there's still major incompatibility issues. It's not going to work straight off a Vudu app on uh, a Roku or Amazon Stick or a 3D projector. It'll just say that your device isn't 3D capable, even if it is. So, bizarrely, they have to be played back mostly by older devices that happen to have a compatible Voodoo 3D app installed. But anyway, the news is that they've released a couple of new movies. The latest one was an independent film that was also released on Blu-ray, Lita. It's some sort of artsy film. I'm not familiar with it. And the other one was a major film, the Super Mario Brothers movie. Also not currently, as of this filming, announced for Blu-ray 3D, but it is available on Vudu 3D in, albeit half-width resolution side by side. It's possible a Blu-ray 3D may come through Random Space Media, but in the meantime, this is the first way to get it at home. And what's interesting about these two is that they don't have the same obvious 3D tag as the other 3D movies on Vudu. The other ones, it automatically shows up in the corner of the poster art 3D. Um, but in these titles, it says the name of the movie with 3D as part of the title, but not the tag showing. So I thought, oh, maybe they just uploaded in SBS to bypass that incompatibility issue. And this theory was suspected, especially because Lita had the trailer in SBS, and I could play it straight off of my Roku. But unfortunately, that is not the case. It still apparently has a 3D tag involved. So if you want to watch either of these or any of the titles they've released in the past, a few of which are exclusive, maybe track down an affordable older Blu-ray player that has that capability, has a Vudu app. And some have said, I can't confirm, some have said PS4 is compatible with Vudu 3D, and I've heard one person say Apple TV. There's another glasses-free 3D TV on the market. Well, not yet, but it's supposedly coming soon. I mentioned on a previous episode how Proma, the makers of that tablet, were selling different sizes of glasses-free 3D TVs, very expensive, thousands of dollars, and I'm sure they don't have very many purchasers at all. Probably count them on one, two hands, if that, because there's just no real reviews of this product anywhere. There's one review on their site that gives very little information, but it's almost assuredly afflicted with ghosting, narrow sweet spots, and far lower resolution. But we can't get a well-rounded review of it until someone who is familiar with 3D actually gets their hands on one and decides to do so. So anyway, this new one is called Perfect View TV, and it's marketing a little bit beyond the 3D aspect. It does market as glasses-free 3D, but it also aims for other people and has the concept of watching multiple programs at once, depending on where you're sitting. One person watches one show, one person watches another, and they each see different things from their viewing angle. And also has Bluetooth, I believe, so if you want to wear headphones and listen to different audio. There's also a new 3D camera, but it's nothing really to get excited about. This is just yet another VR 180 camera. It's called the CAF. It's crowdfunding. It has two small sensors. Once you factor out the distortion and cropping, if you want to use it for actual stereoscopic 3D like on a TV, then it's not going to be amazing resolution or anything like that, so don't let the numbers fool you. But it's not marketing for that anyway. It's not even aiming at actual 3D users. It's aiming for VR users and live streaming VR. And samples have come out, and again, it's nothing really special, especially when corrected, and at a high price point for these small, older sensors. It's really unfortunate that people keep making these, because I don't know what the market is for that. I mean, 3D is obviously a niche market, but that I can't imagine is any bigger. It's probably worse. They would do much better if they would have something that does something no one else does. Focuses on quality, because there's not that many options, and the options there are aging out. One of those more recent options that did seem to be getting it right was the Ego from KuCam, but we'll get to that in another episode. On the Blu-ray front, of course, there's Blu-ray 3Ds, of course, continue to be released. Independent studios, myself among them. Latest one, Massachusetts Seasons, along with a couple of documentaries. And, of course, continual restorations from such as the 3D Film Archive, like Robot Monster, that'll be coming soon. But the biggest one, arguably, is Avatar, The Way of Water. A major release in the U.S. on Blu-ray 3D. That's not something you see every day in recent years. It's not something you see every year. But we'll talk about that next time. I'll see you later.